Hello and welcome to the social science class 6. This is the class 5. This is the second part of the chapter 12, life and culture of the Nagas. So in the previous class, I've explained to you about Nagaland, about the origin of the Nagas, from where they were believed to have migrated, and I've also explained to you about the food and dress of the Naga people, right? Now in this class, I'm going to explain to you about the Morung, about the musical instrument of the Nagas, about the religion and the occupation of the Naga people. So let me take you back to the previous class. I have told you that there are 11 districts, and in these 11 districts we have 16 recognized tribes in Nagaland, and all these have different cultures and traditions. All of them follow different norms and lifestyles, right? So let me begin with the Morung. So Morung is like a house, okay? It's like a hut where all the young boys and girls are gathered together, and they are taught so many things like folk dances and folk songs are taught through the Morung. For the young boys, they are gathered and they are taught about how to fight wars, because those days the Naga people, they also go for battle. They were warriors, right? So they were given all the skills and techniques through this Morung. And as for the young girls, they are taught about the womanhood, how to take care of their homes, what to do when they grow up. So usually the young boys and the young girls of Morung, they have this certain age where they get all this knowledge from the Morung. So once they attain this certain age, they go to the Morung, learn all these things and come back, and once they are older, they apply it in the society. So in this Morung, like for example, the folk songs are taught, and then they used to learn it from there. So whenever they have these festivals or ceremonies, they used to sing those folk songs. And they also have stories, they also have folk tales which are presented by the older members in the Morung, and they also share among themselves whatever experience they have learned all this life. So all these things are learned in Morung, okay? So apart from these folk dances, folk songs and folk tales, they also learn the art of craft. They also learn handicrafts and techniques, and in that way, when the boys go out, when the boys reach a certain age, they use all these skills and techniques, and they start making their own handicrafts. And like for example, the bamboo cups, the bamboo plates, and also they can make their bamboo houses, right? So such techniques and skills, everything is taught in the Morung. So Morung is like a house, is like a dormitory. Dormitory is like a big hall. It's like a big room where all these boys and girls, they used to stay there and learn these things. So there is different Morung, separate Morung for the boys, and there's separate Morung for the girls. All right. Now coming to the musical instrument. So the Nagas are very fond of music, and they have these musical instruments like the log drums, the leather drum. You can see in page number 87 under the musical instrument, they also have cup violin and the bamboo flute. So all these musical instruments are used on different occasions, like for example the log drum. It is said that the log drums were used in order to alarm the villagers, especially those days whenever the other villages come and attack the villages. They used to alarm all the villages. They used to play this log drum, they beat this log drum, and they alarm the whole village. In that way, the village can prepare themselves to fight against the attacks. So and besides that, the log drum was also used to alarm the villagers, to pass an information. Like for example, whenever they want to have a meeting or they want to have a discussion, they beat this log drum, and the villagers gather and they do the discussions, and they do all the necessary communications whichever is required by the village at that moment. Okay, so that is the musical instrument. Now next is the religion. Now here, religion, let me take you back to the history, okay? History way back in 18th century, the first missionary was the American missionary. His name was Reverend Miles Bronson. So this man, he made an expedition to the Naga Hills. Let me tell you what is a Naga Hill. Earlier, Nagaland was not known as Nagaland. It was known as Naga Hills. So he made an expedition. He traveled all the way from America and he landed in a Nokte village, which is a Tirap district. Presently, this district is in Arunachal Pradesh. So he landed there and he taught the Nagas about the Christianity, because his main ambition was to teach the Nagas about the religion of Christian religion, about Jesus, about the doctrine of Christianity, right? Because those days what happened was the Nagas were nature worshippers. So they used to worship the evil spirits also. And they considered that there were two types of evil spirits. One was the good spirit and the other one was the bad spirit. And whenever they worship the good spirit gives them prosperity, it gives them peace, whereas the bad spirit is said to give them death and all the destructions in human beings, destruction of crops and destruction of their personal life. So they have to worship this evil spirit. It was their belief. So when this Reverend Miles Bronson came, he wanted to remove all these false beliefs from the Nagas, and he decided to teach them about the Christian religion. So he did that, and he started from the Nokte village, which is in Tirap district, and this way it spread to other villages as well. However, Reverend Miles Bronson, he was not able to do his missionary work for quite long because he fell ill and then he had to stop. So in the second phase, during 1872, E.W. Clark, another American missionary, he landed in Molung village. So once he landed in Molung village, he started preaching the people about the Christian doctrine. He told the people that there are no such evil spirits and that they have to start worshiping Jesus and they have to follow all those Christian norms, whichever is practiced by the other Christian communities. So with that, the Nagas, they started believing in this Christianity, and nowadays we see that most of the Naga villages are Christians, right? And those days they were so much into this evil worshipping the evil spirits for their food, for their home, and also for their personal life. So once they got the knowledge about Christianity, they started believing in Christianity and they went for baptism. Since you're in class 5, you may not know what is a baptism, so let me tell you. Baptism, in other words, it is also known as water baptism. It is done either in a church or near a pond, and it is done by the elders and the leaders of the church. So once a person does baptism, he is considered to be a Christian. He is considered to have accepted the norms of Christian life. He is believed to have accepted Jesus Christ as their personal savior, right? So this is a Christian practice, okay? So this E.W. Clark, he settled in Molung village and he also started the first Christian church, and he also baptized 15 people there. So likewise, more people came to the church. They listened to the sermons, they listened to the preaching of this reverend, and then many Nagas also got interested to learn about the Christian religion. So many Nagas in the later part, they also went for theology studies where they went and learned about the Christian religion. Then after finishing their studies, they came back, they started up their own churches. And nowadays in every Naga villages, we see a church, right? In fact, in some of the villages, there are more than 1 or 2 churches as well. So likewise, the Christians came under the Nagas came under Christian belief, and we see that in the present generation, almost all the Nagas follow the Christian rules. So that is the religion of Nagas. Now next is the occupation. So under the occupation, we see that the Nagas are so interested in agriculture, right? So whether it's in the villages or whether in the towns also in some parts, we see that it is a fully agricultural area. However, when you go and visit the villages, you see that most of the family members are involved in agriculture, where they go to field every day. They go to their paddy fields, or whether it's the field where they grow all those crops. So they do all this work and then they come back home. It's like their normal daily duty. So that is the occupation of the Nagas. But when we look at the Nagas who live in the towns, their lifestyle is different again. So what they do, these Naga people, those who are living in the towns and cities, they go to the government offices. And nowadays, the Nagas have also improved and advanced so much in education that so many people have gone for doctorates. Some of them are taking up engineering courses. They are teachers, they are businessmen. So with the change of time, even the occupation of the Nagas have changed. Nowadays, we don't see agriculturists in the town and cities, but we see more people who used to go to offices, who used to earn for their livelihood by going to the offices with different professions like teachers, with business, with doctor, as a doctor or as an engineer, right? So that is the occupation of the Nagas in the towns and cities. So there are also some few Naga people who live in the towns and cities, yet their occupation is a small scale industry. Like for example, they make handicrafts, they make all these baskets, they make those kitchen items which are made from wood and bamboos. They also make baskets, carpets and mats from all these wood items, from all the natural fibers, right? So with the help of this skills and techniques, they do a business and then they used to earn that way. So that is another occupation of the Nagas. And some Nagas also involve themselves in rearing of pigs and breeding chickens, right? So they also have their own poultry farm, they have their own pig farm. So farming is also another occupation of the Nagas, and that also comes under the occupation. So depending on the rural and the urban. So if you don't know rural means the village areas, and the urban means the town and city areas. So the people who live in the rural areas and the Nagas who live in the urban areas, their occupation is different, right? Because as I mentioned, the Nagas who live in the rural areas, they do mostly agriculture. They mostly involve in farming, and they also involve in poultry farming, different types of farming. Whereas the Nagas who live in the urban cities, they go for professions like doctor, engineers, and teachers, right? So that is the occupation of the Nagas. So in this class, I have explained to you about these 4 topics, that is Morung, musical instrument, the religion, and the occupation. So let me tell you once more about what is a Morung. So Morung is a dormitory. Dormitory is like a house. It is like a big hall where many people can stay together at one time. And through this Morung, the young Naga boys and the young Naga girls are given education. Nowadays, we don't see this Morung anymore in the villages. You might be having Morungs in your villages, but these Morungs are not used anymore because now we have different system of education. We have school education where we get all these informations and knowledges. So people do not go for Morung anymore. So this Morung gives education, knowledge. It could be folk dances, it could be folk songs, it could be making handicrafts, it could be teaching them different skills and techniques in order to go for a war or in order to go for hunting. The Nagas are so fond of hunting. So all these techniques or skills are taught in Morung. And the next one is a musical instrument. There are certain musical instruments used for certain occasions. Some of the musical instruments are used for dances, some of them are used for the songs, whereas musical instruments like the log drum, which is used to alarm the villagers in times of danger, in times of passing them any information, or if they want to have any discussion, or if they want to have any meeting among the villagers, then these log drums are used to alarm and notify the villagers. All right. Then the religion, I've explained to you about the religion. Earlier, the Nagas were nature worshippers. They used to worship the spirits, and they believe that the spirits give them good life, as well as the spirits can do something harmful against them. So they used to worship both of them. And in order to worship the spirits, they do some sacrifices. They also offer some food, or offer some vegetables, or some fruits to the spirits, so that the spirit will do something good on them, or the spirit will not do anything harmful against them. So that was the kind of belief. However, when Reverend Miles Bronson came to Nagaland, and when E.W. Clark came to Nagaland, everything changed, right? The mindset of the people changed. People started following Christian religion, and with the coming of Christian religion, there was peace, because those days, even in the Naga, even among the Naga villages, there were so many wars and battles. There was hatred among them. There was too much of killing. But once this religion, once the Nagas accepted the Christian religion, there was peace among the villagers, and they started they stopped those wars and battles among themselves, and there was peace and unity in the villages. All right. Then next is the occupation. I've told you that there are different types of occupation based on the lifestyles of rural and urban areas. In the rural areas, that is in the village areas, most of the people go for farming. Most of them go for agriculture, whereas in the urban areas, the people go to offices. They go for other high white collar jobs, that is doctorate, engineers, right? So based on the society, based on rural and urban, even the occupation of the Nagas differ from one another. So that's all in this class. I will be seeing you again in the next class with the remaining topic. And also in the next class, we are going to do a little bit of exercises. I'm also going to give you a project which is going to be very interesting. So do tune in again. Thank you.